Thanks for staying with us. The Ndtv-Hindu crew was attacked in Sri Perumbudur near Kanchipuram, and our Discover Tamil Nadu anchor Gibran was part of that crew that was attacked. He in fact joins us live on the phone line right now. Gibran, can you tell us what really happened?
Well, we were on our way back from our shoot, Discover Tamil Nadu, and we were passing Sri Perumbudur, and there was a driver who was driving recklessly. He was in a Indy car that from Baby Travels, it said, and he cornered us between a median and a trailer, and we couldn't do much. We almost went over the median. When we pulled him over to the side to ask him a few questions, because we wanted to make find out why he was driving so recklessly, putting our lives at stake. We were in discussion with him when a cop came over and actually attacked my cameraman, Saj. And that's when the thing turned ugly, because we retaliated as well, telling him that he cannot lay his hand on any of us. And the mob the people, bystanders, I think they were not doing much. They were jobless, so they got involved as well. And we wanted a police complaint against this driver, this reckless driver, when the mob started beating the car and throwing bricks into the car, and we had to scoot from there. Otherwise, there would have been serious injuries. As of now, we have a completely shattered car and a few minor injuries, but thank God nothing major happened.
Absolutely, I'm glad you guys are safe. But Gibran, this sounds like as if this was planned in some way or so. Have you lost any of your belongings?
No, we haven't lost any of our belongings. And things like this happen on a regular basis. I don't think it can be planned in any way. It's just that there's a lack of civic sense amongst the people, and they've got the whole equation wrong. We wanted a police case right there. We wanted the cops to be involved. We wanted to file a police complaint against the reckless driver, so that he will be taught a lesson and he will be punished for what he was doing on the road, on the highway, on the national highway. But they didn't see any reason. There was absolute chaos. There was nobody there who could control anything. The cop was helpless after a certain point. After he came onto our side, after we explained to him that it was not our fault and we had spoken to him, he came to understand, but the mob just wouldn't hear anybody. They were out of control.
Right. Gibran, did the mob threaten you in any particular way? Were they speaking to you from a political point of view, or do you think they had any kind of inclination in that sense?
We were trying to reason with them and tell them that we want a police complaint, and we are from the Ndtv-Hindu crew, and we will not leave from here until we get a police complaint. I think that kind of aggravated them even more, because they wanted to, show their supremacy and show off their, I don't know what it is. It's their gusto, their manliness, how brave they were, or it was just out of boredom they were doing this. I don't know.
All right. We're glad that the entire team is safe. And thanks for joining us on the phone line and telling us about this incident. We will make sure that action will be taken soon enough. Now, a day after the Tamil Nadu government announced the decision of the Prison Advisory Board not to release Rajiv Gandhi assassination convict Nalini, Nalini's lawyers visited her in the Vellore prison. They said that they were saddened by the developments. The Prison Advisory Board had rejected her plea for premature release on 8 counts. The lawyer said that they would go an appeal against the decision.
உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தில் அரசு தாக்கல் செய்த ஜீவோப்படி நளினியை முன்விடுதலை செய்ய முடியாது என்று கூறியிருந்தார்கள். இது மிகவும் வருத்தம் அளிப்பதாக இருந்தது. இன்று நான் நளினியை போய் சிறையில் பார்த்து வந்ததிலிருந்து இது நாங்கள் எதிர்பார்த்தோம். எப்படியாவது இந்த முறை விடுதலை செய்வார்கள் என்று எதிர்பார்த்தோம். 18 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு மேலாக சிறையிலே வைத்திருப்பது மனித உரிமைக்கு எதிரானது. ஆகவே இந்த அட்வைசரி போர்டுடைய மற்ற ரிப்போர்ட்டை எல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு நாங்கள் உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தில் வழக்கு தொடுப்போம்.
Swami Nityananda, who has been embroiled in a sex scandal, resigned as the head of his ashram, Dhyanapeetham, on Monday. The Swami was filmed in a room with a Tamil actress. Earlier, people attacked the ashram even as his followers claimed the video was a conspiracy to defame the Swami. Swami Nityananda's ashram is located about 40 kilometers outside Bengaluru. It is said he has a following of about 2 million around the world. Let's get you all the news from the world of business on Business Line. Now, just yesterday, the bulls were celebrating a 2-year high for the indices, and today the market witnessed a sell-off. NDTV Profits Shakti Patra explains this unusual phenomenon.
Right, that's not something you generally see in the market. Historically speaking, every time the market hits a new high, there's a lot of money waiting on the sidelines. They rush in to buy and the indices head higher. But if recent history is something to go by, that's the history over the last 7 months. Every time the market has hit a new high, the correction has started almost immediately from the very next day. That happened in September, in November, once in January. And if today's market action is something to go by, maybe the last 7 months history is repeating itself. Now, Nifty intraday today, we had a higher opening. The top at 53.25 made right at around 9 o'clock in the morning. And then you almost felt that we had two different markets today. One market between 9 to about 1:30 when nothing was happening. Nifty stuck in a 25-point range. And after about 1:30, suddenly a clear downtrend for about 50-60 points on the Nifty. And the markets closing almost at the lowest point in the day, 40 points gone on the Nifty. For the second consecutive day, the sector that lost about 1.5% was the IT pack. Now these stocks just last week hit lifetime highs, but rupee is now around 45 to a dollar, and these stocks probably are down on profit booking. You have Infosys results coming in a week's time, and it's understandable. Lifetime highs being hit last week. Rupee concerns are probably taking a bit of money out of these stocks. The other interesting aspect of today's trade was between auto stocks and real estate stocks. Mind you, auto stocks have been the big leaders of this market over the last 1 year. Today, the leaders actually lost. Hero Honda, Maruti, M&M down between 2 to 3% in trade. And the big laggards in this market over the last 1 year, real estate pack, they actually gained. You had stocks like DLF, you had stocks like Sobha Developers gaining about 2 to 3% in trade. You can call it short covering, you can call it a bit of value buying, because the stocks have lost about 50-60% in about 6 months time. So, but that probably summed up the mood in the market. You didn't have any particular sector giving leadership. Metals and auto, the big two sectors which have led the way over the last 1 year, they didn't participate, and you had a market which lost about 40 points on the Nifty. Now, recent history, if you go by that, correction has started almost the very next day after hitting a new 52-week high. Yesterday we hit a new high, today the correction has started. Maybe we are headed lower, but above 53.50, that yesterday's high, bulls can still aim at a big breakout above that 53.50, 5400 mark.
Well, still ahead, what does Vivek Oberoi do best? Find out on the other side.